Good evening and welcome to the Melissa Cardinals Network. You're joining us on the Cardinals Scoreboard show. We broadcast every Monday evening, 5:30 p.m. at the Dugout Sports Grill at the Z-Plex. This is Trey Graham along with Cardinals head football coach Matt Nally. And coach, I keep saying it every week, 8 in a row.
I hope you say 9, 10, 11, 12,
Well,
13, 14
so
in a
do
row.
the rest of the people here. So 8 in a row. And
Yes,
this number 8 was pretty big.
Yeah, once again, though, it goes back to the coaches having a plan and the kids executing the plan. So I've said this before and I'll say it again, if it's a loss, it's on me. If it's a win, it's on everybody else. And everyone else did an unbelievable job through the week and on Friday night, or Thursday night.
Thursday night. We have to talk about Thursday, Friday, because I ended up being a liar sitting right here last week saying it was Friday because we played on Thursday, by the way. So let's go way back in time, 0-2.
Yes.
You sat right there and said, don't worry.
Yes, sir.
Things are coming. 8 in a row.
Once again, it goes back to the process and the process that we all believe in within the program. So, we believe in getting better each week. And there's some teams that they believe in, we're going to try to go up here all the time, and you just can't. So we want to ascend. And I believe, if you watch film and you watch other teams early on, those teams kind of have peaked, and we haven't. We're sky's the limit still for us. We're still getting better. But once again, it's the kids buying into the process, the kids buying into the journey, and it's been really, really fun to watch them each week and watch them progress. So once again, it's just buying in.
Of course, we're going to talk about the big victory over Lovejoy, 36-35, the district championship game. But the regular season for all teams has come to an end.
Right.
Varsity's about to begin the playoff season.
Right.
But talk about the fact that the freshman season and the JV season has come to an end. Take a little look back and review their seasons. Yeah. And also, you get to move some players up.
Right. So we've done something at Melissa we've never done before, and that was we've always had two freshman teams, or we've tried to. So the last few years we've had two freshman teams. So this year we fielded two freshman teams, but we've never fielded two JV teams. And I always felt like if you have 11 kids, those 11 kids should play, and you never know how a kid's going to develop. So we fielded two JV teams and two freshman teams, and it was really cool to watch all those kids get to participate, get to play, get to develop. And then we had to combine them for a couple games. It was fun to watch them come back together and see how they would play. Our JV finished second in the district, and then our freshmen finished second in the district. So they did a great job. They had some ups and downs through the season. We stole some freshmen to the JV, and then we stole some JV to the varsity, and we actually stole a couple freshmen to the varsity too. So they did a really great job. But once again, it's about progressing each week, and I felt like my freshmen and my JV progressed each week and got better.
And you have the option to move some up for the playoffs.
Right.
What's the philosophy behind that?
So what we do is, and I'll give you a perfect example. So we have Colin Craig and Grayson Donahoe. So we move them up because they have an opportunity next season to be a big part of our defense. So we move kids up to get experience, and not just that, like any kid that's on the JV, I give them the option to stay and be with the football team.
So everyone's invited to dress out?
Everybody's invited to dress out. There are some kids that will actually get playing time, and once again, it goes back to I see them next year having a role. And I want to make sure that they get some experience. But the thing is this, you never know. There might be a kid that's there right now that, it might have been a second teamer on the JV, and his development and whatnot might push him to be a starter next year on the varsity. But this experience allowing him to be a part of the playoffs and allowing him to continue to practice and to continue to get better is priceless.
So let's focus on the big victory at Lovejoy Leopard Stadium. 36-35 was the final. As we've said all along, we've been looking forward to this game. We knew it would be the district championship game. You've already explained on a previous show about how you literally drew a name out of a hat, and that's how you ended up in game number 10.
Right.
And we talked last week, They were top 10 in the state, very
Right.
good. Everybody was telling you to get ready to play a good team. So now that you've played it and you've won, talk about the week of preparation and the pregame activity.
Yeah. So, well, first off, it's kind of crazy because everybody was talking about the offenses throughout the week. It was just like, oh, it's going to be a 100-point game, yada yada yada. And my
Well, they did average more than 50 a game, and you averaged more than 40 a game.
right. And my experience in that, when people are like, either it's going to be a great defensive game or it's going to be a great offensive game, it turns out to be the opposite. So during the week, and it's I've gotten on here and I haven't told the whole truth on this show because I don't know who's watching.
Well, we do know literally, we have proof that opposing coaches watch this program.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say anything because we have been prepping for Lovejoy for literally since the bye week. So during our practice, we have been preparing for Lovejoy. No offense to those other teams. We just thought that it would be a big game. It's at the end of the year. We wanted to make sure there's some things that we wanted to take into the playoffs with us. But we've been working on them for however long that is, 5 weeks, I guess. And so we've been working on them for a while. And so going into the week, we thought we were going to have a short week. That Princeton
Yes,
game.
let's go ahead and say it. It was supposed to be on Thursday night. Then we were moved to Friday night because last game before that was supposed to be on Friday night and was played on Saturday. So this game, the Lovejoy game, was moved from Thursday to Friday, and we sat right here and said Friday until the next morning when he's told me, oh, by the way, it's Thursday, now that we filmed it, everything, right? So how did it happen to get back to Thursday, and what did that short week mean for you?
So it was Halloween night, and I was going to go pick my son up, and I got a text from Coach Ross at Lovejoy, and he said, hey, man, have you looked at the weather? And I'll be honest with you, I haven't, and I just looked at it, and I'm like, I'm going to spend time with my kids and whatnot, so I didn't even really give it any thought.
That was Monday night.
And so when I got home and I got in bed, I looked at the weather, and I saw that it was 100% rain and thunderstorms. Rain, whatever. We play football in the rain. It is what it is. But the thunderstorm piece was a little bit difficult for us, me and Coach Ross in the regards of the playoffs. We both knew we were going to the playoffs. We didn't want to. No one wants to play on a Saturday. We didn't want a less day of prep. So we just decided, hey man, we're going to play on Thursday. And the thing is we decided, like, I've been working on you for a while. I've been working on you for a while. Let's just do this. So that's kind of how it went.
Of course, we're going to focus on the winning touchdown, but prior to that point in the game, the momentum was on their side.
Correct.
Multiple turnovers,
Correct.
some penalties. It was senior night for them, big night. It felt like a playoff game. We were down there on the field before the game. You and I were talking. It felt like a playoff atmosphere.
Right.
So early in the game, they had the momentum.
Right.
So when you went into halftime, what was your thought? What was your comment to the team?
I'll go back to the beginning of the game. The beginning of the game, or we're in pregame. Like, I've been in Melissa for 8 years, and I've never seen a group of kids so locked in to a mission, locked in being prepped for a game. So before we came out, I got the kids together and said, hey guys, let's just take a breath. It's a game, so take a breath. All we're going to do is control what we can control. And that's our attitude and our effort. So then we, that thing's happening in halftime or before half, and we go into half. It's the same thing. Like, hey guys, take a breath. All is okay. It's going to be fine. And really, it was just like a reassurance. But once again, they were so locked in and focused. And people want to talk about, the turnovers and penalties and things like that. But, to me, I was thinking about this. How awesome is that compared to life? Those kids fought. They didn't give an excuse. They didn't just look at the problem. They banded together and fought. And that's what made me so proud. Even after the game, I'm sitting there and I'm sitting on the bench by myself just reflecting. And I was so proud, win or lose, I was so proud of how those kids pushed forward together. And like I said, that was I don't know, for me personally, it was one of the best coaching moments I've ever had in that regard.
So you were down 2 touchdowns when the fourth quarter began. You score, cut it to 7.
Yes, sir.
Then you get the ball back, and a little over a minute left. Ends up being the touchdown pass to Carson Maynard that we're going to talk to Carson Maynard about here in a minute. But then you decided to go for 2,
Right.
which ended up being the game-winning catch by Gunnar Wilson. When in the timeline did you decide we're going for 2?
So, honestly, you have all these things going on. So during pregame, that's what I do. I'm going to watch their kicker. So I'm watching their kicker, and he was a very talented kid. And so as the game's going on, you're starting to do all these scenarios in your head. And with about 5 minutes left in the game, I said, all right, if we score quickly, I'm going to kick it. If we don't score quickly, I'm going to go for 2 because I did not want to get into overtime. I didn't want to get in a kicker's battle. And their offense is so explosive. Now, defensively, we were playing amazing. They've only punted 8 times all year, and they punted 8 times against us in the first half. So that's a mad shout out to my defensive staff and those defensive kids for executing and coming up with a great game plan. But I didn't want to do that. So with about 5 minutes left, that's what kind of was in my brain. And then we had a turnover, and they got the ball, and they went for it on 4th and 2. When they went on 4th and 2, and we got the ball back,
Well, hold on. They went for it on 4th and 2, and the officials said they made it.
Correct. They said
And
they
it
made
was
it.
what I call on the broadcast left foot, right foot.
Right.
And they gave him the left foot, which is a first down.
Right.
The right foot would have been short, and you called
I said at least,
rightfully for a
yes,
measurement.
I said at least measure it.
Yeah.
And then when we got the ball back, I looked right at Coach Russell.
Because
and
the
said,
measurement said they were short.
Right. I looked right at Coach Russell and said, we're going to go for 2 when we score. So, and once again, the game played out. Trevor did a great job of coming out of that sprint out and hitting Carson on a touchdown. And then, we're always in the gate. And the kids thought, hey, we scored, we're going to get in the gate. And we had to call a timeout, which really worked in our benefit, to be honest with you. We come back out on offense. They call a timeout, which kills their timeouts. And then Coach Russell called a great play. And Gunnar Wilson made a great catch, and Trevor Ham made an unbelievable throw, and the line did an unbelievable job giving him an opportunity to make that throw to Gunnar. So it was just a fun, surreal. I'll be honest with you, Brother Graham, every once in a while this weekend, I kept watching just to make sure Gunnar caught it, So, and I didn't see in the game him catch it. I was looking at Trevor the whole time, and it was just such a fun moment to be a part of, and it's something that those kids can talk about for a lifetime, So that to me was, in my coaching career, was one of the most proud moments I've been as a coach for a group of kids and a group of coaches that have really done a great job.
It was a big victory over Lovejoy, 36-35 for the district championship, which allowed the Cardinals move to the playoffs, which we'll talk about after this. You are watching the Cardinal Scoreboard Show from the Dugout Sports Grill. This is Trey Graham and Matt Nally. In a moment, you'll get to meet our offensive and defensive players of the week as we go to this break, as I get to do each time. I'll invite you to our church family this Sunday morning, 9 a.m. or 10:15 a.m. Go to firstmelissa.com and join us at First Melissa, our church home, on Sunday mornings. We'll take a break and meet our players of the week right after this. Welcome back to the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. We join you right now from the Dugout Sports Grill at the Z-Plex. You get to meet our offensive and defensive players of the week. And this week's offensive player of the game in the victory over Lovejoy was wide receiver Carson Maynard. Welcome back. You've been here before.
Thank you, sir. Yep.
It's good to have you. Big victory over Lovejoy. And so let's talk about what the team thought of going into the game. Both teams were undefeated in district. This wasn't originally planned, but it turned out to be the district championship game. What was the thought going into the game?
We talked about all week. We knew we were going to face adversity. Big theme through the week was resilience and being able to fight through that adversity. And I'd say there definitely was a lot of adversity in that game, and I felt like we did a good job handling it and fighting through it. So, yeah.
Finished with 13 catches, 133 yards, 3 touchdowns, and according to my stat man, Ross Graham, they threw it to you 20 times
Yep.
in one game.
Yes, sir.
That's a lot.
It was.
Does that show that Trevor Ham has confidence in you? You can get open?
Yeah.
Hopefully all the above?
Yeah, all the above, I would say. And I feel like the more games you play, the bigger the connection grows between me and Trevor. So, yeah.
All right, let's go to the game winner. The touchdown right before the 2-point play. What was the play call and what happened on that play?
So it was we call it a pick play. So we'll have one receiver pick for another receiver. So we ran that play. I went to go pick for my guy, came back across the other side of the field, and it was just there. The ball really wasn't intentionally supposed to go to me. We had another guy open, but he gave me a chance, and I went up and got it. So.
And what did you think when Coach Nally said we're going for 2?
Well, I was glad, actually.
You were?
Yeah, I was happy that we ended up going for 2. I thought we had a good shot with the ball in our hands. I mean, they have such an explosive offense that you never know what they're going to do with the ball, so I'm glad that we kept it and went for 2.
So let's go back a few weeks. You made a great catch in the end zone and ended up on SportsCenter Top 10.
Yes, sir.
How did you find out about it?
So the guy that took the video came up to me after the game, and he had posted the clip on Twitter or whatever, and I guess somebody on the ESPN staff had contacted him on Twitter and asked for permission to use the video, whatnot, blah, blah. He said yes, and then she had texted him and said, we plan on putting the clip on Top 10 tonight, and it'll probably end up being the number 1 play. Let his family know, blah, blah. And he showed me all the text. And sure enough, we got home, turned the TV on. We started watching a little bit, and it came up on the TV. So it was pretty cool.
How many people contacted you after that?
Oh, I had tons and tons of people. And even at school, everybody asked me about it, this and that, blah, blah. So it was pretty cool.
What do you want to do after high school?
Hopefully play college football somewhere. I don't really have a particular dream school or whatnot, so just getting that opportunity anywhere would be really cool and do that. So.
And what are you looking forward to on the playoff run?
I'm looking forward to either play South Oak Cliff or Lovejoy again. I feel like that'll be a really fun game, and then especially getting to play Argyle in the semifinal game. That'll probably be really fun to do.
Congratulations on being the offensive player of the game.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Carson Maynard, wide receiver, offensive player of the game for the victory over Lovejoy. We'll take a break, and you'll meet our defensive player of the game right after this. Welcome back to the Dugout. We meet here every Monday evening at 5:30 p.m. for the Cardinals Scoreboard Show. You get to meet our offensive and defensive players of the week every week. And this week, the defensive player of the week, linebacker Landon Brando. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Glad you're here. Junior linebacker. Stats sheet says 7 tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss. First question, what makes a good linebacker?
Someone who can react fast, I feel like, to plays. Coach Johnson always tells me, read slow, react fast. And
what does that mean?
That means, like, read the play slow, but once you know what's, like, happening, like, get there quick, make the play.
So you've got some very good linebackers on this team.
Yes, sir.
Jason Cave's been here several times.
Yes, sir.
Lusky's pretty good, too, I think, as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean to be with all those talented teammates?
I feel like being part of one of them just makes me feel like my game just elevates to another level, you know? Just having them as teammates is, like, amazing to me, and, like, thinking, like, oh, I'm playing with, like, D1 athletes or, like, stuff like that, so I think that's pretty cool.
How long have you lived in Melissa?
This is my first year here. I moved from Prosper, Texas last year.
Okay. What's your favorite class in school?
I'd say entrepreneurship.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
The people in there are really cool. I got a lot of my teammates in there, including Carson, and my teacher, I just love her.
So what do you want to do after high school?
I'd like to play college football, but if that doesn't work out, I'd still go to college and probably go into some sort of engineering.
Okay. And when you guys were getting ready for Lovejoy, probably heard all week how good they were, how good their receivers were.
Yes, sir.
What was the game plan going in?
Defensively, we put in our nitro package, which was our 3 deep safety, and we basically implemented it at the beginning of the season, just preparing for this game because we knew that they had a lot of D1 receivers that were very good athletes. So we decided to put that package in and we executed it well during practice throughout the week, and it worked out well on Friday.
So a lot of the attention, of course, went to the Carson Maynard touchdown catch and the 2-point play at the end. But then there was 52 seconds left. You guys had to still play defense
Yes,
after
sir.
that. What was the thought at the last drive there?
It's basically just not let them progress down the field. We did have a 15-yard penalty, which we thought was crucial to them, but we made a few plays and made sure the clock kept running and worked out.
And what have you experienced as a Melissa Cardinal in your first year here?
I love it. I love the coaches. I love the culture here, and my teammates. Couldn't ask for better teammates. I just love it here.
And talk about finally Coach Nate Hemsley.
Coach Hemsley, he's a great guy. He puts in really good game plans every week to help us be successful for the games. And yeah.
Congratulations on being the Defensive Player of the Week.
Thank you.
Linebacker Landon Brando, Defensive Player of the Week for the victory over Lovejoy. We'll come back and talk more with Matt Nally right after this. Hello and welcome back to the Dugout Sports Grill. We join you every Monday night here at the Z-Plex for the Cardinal Scoreboard Show. Matt Nally and Trey Graham. And we talked a moment ago with our Offensive Player of the Week, Carson Maynard, our Defensive Player of the Week, Landon Brando. And the audience has already met them, but you have a chance to brag on them a little bit.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Maynard's been on this show a couple times. So, and I can talk about Carson Maynard all day. He is. It's just so fun to see a kid that I taught in elementary school that now is a superior athlete in the regards of high school football, and watching him get to play and get after it. But the best thing about him, he's a really good person, and he's really taking a leadership role. Like I said this Friday morning to the coaching staff, we were talking about just overall the game and whatnot. I said, guys, for me, the most proud moment was before the game, and Maynard makes a statement to the team, and it's a leadership statement about, hey, make sure your minds are right and things like that. And I thought, wow, what a step that he has taken. And not just that, when people make comments like that, it's not just about themselves. It's about more than themselves, and he cares about the team. And I was just so proud of that, and I was just so taken back, just that step he's taken in the regards of a leadership role. Landon has, he came to us in the spring, and at the beginning we're like, is he a safety? Is he a H? Is he a possible running back? And he's really fit the role. He's unbelievable in space. He's a great tackler in space. Extremely intelligent. He's got a great football IQ. The way we practice, we have 2 practices in one session, and he doesn't need 2. He just needs that one, and he's locked in and he's ready to go. So, but once again, it goes back to, and I've said this 1,000 times, it's just true. I mean, I've not met a Melissa kid that has went through athletics that hasn't been raised right, and those 2 young men have been raised right. They've got great families, and they're going to be great men one day.
Regular season is over, 8-2. Cardinals are district champs. Started 0-2, 8 games in a row to win the district, and all that's over.
Right.
Time to go to the playoffs.
Right.
We've been doing bracketology for a month now, trying to figure out who it would be. We talked about Marshall. We talked about other people. We thought it might be Hallsville, and it turns out it is the Hallsville Bobcats.
Right.
And Cardinal fans don't know much about them. You know them because they're from your neighborhood over there.
Right.
Who are the Hallsville Bobcats?
They're traditionally a baseball school. Very, very talented. Always pushing for the regional championship in baseball. Coach Strickland has taken over. He's a hometown boy in Hallsville. He's taken over that program. This is just his 2nd year, and he has turned that program around. They got a great quarterback. He has set all kinds of records in the regards of Hallsville records, but he has rushed for 22 touchdowns and thrown for 18 touchdowns. He's thrown for 1,800 yards and rushed for 1,200 yards. So he is extremely dynamic in what they do. Defensively, they're a bend and no break type of defense. And, at the end of the day, they are good enough to beat us if we're not going to show up and play. So it'll be a fun game. It's awesome to play teams that we've never played before. It's awesome to play teams from different areas, not just our area. So I'm really excited to play them. I know that it's going to be a long road for them, road trip for them.
It's one of the best news of the week. They get the 2-hour, 45-minute drive.
Right.
You get the 5-minute drive.
And I'll be honest with you a little bit. I know this sounds bad. I kind of feel bad, when we were talking about it, because I was really excited. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know I got a first-round bye until about 2 months ago. I was
You
like,
get a first-round home game,
I mean,
not a bye.
First-round home game
yes.
until about 2 months ago. And I'm like, oh, that's awesome, And then you get closer and closer and closer, and you're like, oh, man. I asked him, I was like, man, how far is the drive? And he told me, I was like, oh, God, that stinks, man. So I kind of feel bad. But at the end of the day, that's one of the perks.
Number 1 team plays the number 4 team from the opposing district. Cardinals are district champs. Hallsville was number 4 in their district. Cardinals are in 7 5A Division II. That opposing district is 8 5A Division II. So the 1 plays the 4, the 2 plays the 3, and when you're working out the brackets, as you look in the future, being the number 1 seed is rightfully an advantage.
Right. There's been times in the playoffs where you can say, hey, we really need to get 3rd. We really need to get 2nd. We really need to get 4th. We really need to get 1st. In this scenario, we really needed to get 1st. You wanted to be on that side of the bracket. So it does give us an advantage. But at the end of the day, we're playing some really unbelievable teams. I mean, you're looking at Mansfield Summit, Everman, Ennis, Woodrow Wilson. There's some really good teams on our side of the bracket. So we're going to have to be ready to play every week.
Talk about the mentality change going into the playoffs. You always talk about 3 seasons.
Right.
Non-district games, district games, playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
It's a step up.
Right.
Talk about the difference.
So this season we call it the tournament. So in a tournament, what's different from Halloween and the Ascension is if you lose, you're out.
Win or go home.
Yeah. So everything that you do has got to magnify tenfold in the regards of every single time that you step on that field, there's an opportunity you might not get to play it again. Every time every rep you take, it might be your last rep. So it's got to magnify. And not just that, it's everything that we talk about, accountability, discipline, doing your job, it's got to magnify. So we don't change anything in practice-wise. I'm a little superstitious in that regard. I don't change anything practice-wise, practice structure-wise, but it's something that we have small groups, and in our small groups, our position groups, when we meet, that's something that is being very much so discussed and emphasized throughout the week is, hey guys, every single thing that you do, make sure it's the best version of you moving forward.
As opposed to the regular season when you know all 10 games in advance,
Right.
and you can start on Lovejoy a
Right.
month ahead of time.
Right.
Every playoff round, you know who the 2 opponents might be.
Right.
If we win, then we'll play the winner of this game. So do you scout both of those guys?
Yeah, you scout both of them. So what you try to do is, you try to go get as much film as you can on those 2 teams, and you start breaking them down. It's not very hard. Like when I just got into coaching, and Huddle didn't exist, DVDs didn't exist. It was all VHS, and you were going and trying to get someone to copy a VHS for you. That was very difficult to try to go and scout other people before you played them. But now it's just you can text somebody and you'll have film in 30 seconds. So. But yeah, I mean, that's what you do. You hit people up, and people send you film. And now normally, I won't do that until Wednesday. So this week, I'll hit up some schools and try to get some film on Wednesday, because I don't want my coaches really thinking about the
Second round.
Correct, until they've got a good mind of what's going on this week.
And you've had a chance several times during this broadcast, but the support of the Cardinal fans, both those in the stadium and this past game, we had people. I mean, I was going down the list of states that we were talking about, a dozen states or more.
Right.
Talk about the Cardinal fans.
Well, it really blew me away, because I knew that Lovejoy was going to be a big game, and I knew that, we were going to be supported, but my goodness gracious, like that whole game and the crowd was so electrifying, and it was just so loud, and it was to our advantage. And then, once again, it's just so humbling, and it's so unbelievable that there's so many people out there that are watching it from different states, and they have that much invested in the kids here. It's mind-boggling to think that, people really do care that much. So, yeah, I'm super, super humbled, I guess. It's so unbelievable, surreal almost. Like I keep thinking, is Gunnar going to catch that ball? It's the same kind of feeling. Like, wow, it's unbelievable. Like I had people text me from Indiana, about the game. So, and they were like, hey, I'm watching the game. They had a great game or whatever. And so, yeah, it's just unbelievable.
So I'm here to say the game is Friday night.
Friday night.
Really, Friday night.
I don't know, maybe, I don't know.
Stay tuned to the Melissa Cardinals Network on Facebook, but the game really is supposed to be Friday night.
Yeah.
7 o'clock pregame show, 7:30 kickoff on the Melissa Cardinals Network. Hallsville Bobcats, first round of the playoffs. Hopefully the first of many rounds of the playoffs.
Right.
Friday, like really Friday, 7:30 p.m. kickoff. Maybe. Friday, stop saying maybe over there. Friday, 7:30 kickoff at home, the Melissa Cardinals and the Hallsville Bobcats. When we end this interview, we're going to show that last minute of game action. It took 4 minutes of real time, but that last minute of action where the touchdown pass to Maynard and the 2-point play to Gunnar Wilson, so you can go home and watch it and see that it really did happen. So we do invite you and your family to First Melissa this Sunday morning. Go to firstmelissa.com to find out more. Friday, be by the channel, the Melissa Cardinals and the Hallsville Bobcats. For Coach Matt and Allie, we say thank you for joining us. This is Trey Graham saying good night from the dugout. 1 minute to go. Snap it back. Ham rolls to his left. And he's going to set up. He's going to throw it into the end zone. It's going to be
touchdown.
Caught. Touchdown Cardinals. Touchdown Cardinals with 52 seconds on the clock. Now, Coach, big decision time. Matt Nally. You go for 2 here or you go for 1. They're setting up in the swinging gate, of course.
Coach Nally's going to call timeout and then talk about it. That's what's going to happen.
Carson Maynard on the catch.
Mr. ESPN.
Well, there's your holder who's not in the game at the second because he was celebrating and getting up and getting back into the play. So, Cardinals use their final timeout, 52 seconds. Here is the touchdown pass. Patiently decides, I trust Maynard, throws it in the back of the end zone. There he is, grabbing it. Touchdown Cardinals. The score is 35-34. Now Matt Nally has a huge decision to make. Kick it for the tie, and they have a missed PAT on a footing problem, slipping by the Cardinals kicker, Pintor. They also have a 2-point conversion by Jackson Ford on the swinging gate. 52 seconds on the clock. Huge decision time for head football coach Matt Nally. Now, on the extra point, you can choose where to put the football. It's at the center of the field on the 3 right now. You can put it on either hash if you want to.
They're going straight offense, Trey.
They are indeed, and the ball stays in the middle of the field. Here is the 2-point play opportunity. One thing you try to do here is draw the defense off and shut the distance down. Lovejoy calls timeout. Still 52 seconds on the clock. These are 2 good teams and 2 good coaches.
Absolutely. This is, nail-biting time here in Lucas, Texas. Strategy time. Melissa called a timeout and then went straight offense with their offensive formation out to go for 2. Now Coach has called timeout on Lovejoy's side.
As I was saying a moment ago, one strategy is if you're going to kick it, if you're happy kicking it, then you come out here on the 2-point play opportunity, try to draw the defense off sides. If they jump, you'll take half the distance. If they don't jump, you'll take a 5-yard penalty and still kick the PAT. That is one strategy. Set up in the swinging gate and see how they adjust. Another strategy. Straight PAT or straight offense. Lots of options.
Right. I'm pretty confident Coach Nally knew what he was going to do during that drive if they scored, whether to go for one or go for two. Getting him a drink of water on the sideline right now. As Melissa fans are up on their feet supporting the Cardinals. Come back out again.
Base offense is out there. Lincoln Dunn split right.
No running back.
Tight right. 3 receivers left. They're going to snap the football. Ham has it. He's going to throw it to Gunnar Wilson, who goes up and catches it. 2-point play is good.
Wow.
2-point play is good. Cardinals lead 36-35.
Let's play defense, boys. Let's play defense and shut this down.
52 seconds to go in the district championship game. Gutsy call. Matt Nally says go for 2. Jason Russell calls up the 2-point play to the tight end on the back fade in the right side of the end zone. 2-point play is good. Cardinals lead 36-35.